I think we did it. It's our fourth or so time to go live.
And this time may or may not have been a success.
Yes.
Okay. Dale, I'll hand that off to you. Thank you.
We're just going to relax for a couple minutes, and Nikki's going to make up some pina coladas. Justin's going to get some ice. We're just going to just chill for a second.
No, you can't tell everybody where we are and what's going on with us and where we're going tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Give previews.
Okay. All right. So our last video left everyone out stranded in the middle of the water, and the next video I'm hoping to go live with on Sunday from a little mountain town called Boquete. I hear words behind me. Anyway, we should go live. We are in Panama. We've been here for about a month, and it's been awesome. We've done some diving, some snorkeling, mangrove, spearing, lobster, crabbing, just literally anything we can possibly do we've been up to here in Panama so far. And it's been just wonderful. Right, guys?
Oh, yeah.
It's been awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Especially those days of waxing the boat. Those are your favorite.
My favorite. Yeah, I forgot to mention part of the chores for the crew, Dale and Justin. In case you forgot, Dale.
Hello. Nobody forgot.
Justin. Part of their crew chores was washing and waxing the boat, and it's a beast of a job, right, guys?
It gets warm outside, that's for sure.
Yeah. We planned on doing it when it was overcast, so it was like nice and cool, and then within like 10 minutes of being out there, it was like the hottest day. And
First
like,
sunny day in weeks.
Yeah.
Sun vulture on your back.
Okay, I'm going into blend mode.
Blend mode. Cover your ears. Wow, we have 52 people and going up. That's amazing. It is 7:30 here in Panama and 5:30 in California, I believe. So I'm surprised we have so many people on a Wednesday, a weekday. Thanks for joining us so much. Let me look at these comments real quick because I want to make sure everyone can hear us okay.
I don't have anything about
Sans Blender. No issues with
audio. Everyone is saying hello, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Wax our boat. It's working. Success.
Exactly. We have our So the big awesome part is we're leaving the zero elevation, which we've been at basically for the past 2 years of our lives. And
year and a half maybe. Alaska, hello.
Well, I mean, and once we left California, it's been basically flat since. So thank you for interrupting, Nikki. God, this is my time to talk. You said you were making pina coladas. We are going up the mountain to this tiny little town called Boquete, and it is famous for coffee. And believe it or not, the world's most expensive, self-proclaimed is what they say, most expensive coffee, which we have only tasted twice. It's super rare. It's called geisha, and they make it here on this mountain. Had no idea. It would have been helpful if I'd have read the tourism brochures or something, but Ben from Crema Coffees, a coffee company that we got about a year ago. We started getting their beans. Got us hooked up with a private tour for the highest elevation coffee grower, and I'm going to totally geek out in that video because obviously coffee's a big...
His coffee snobbery is going to reach an all-time high.
Yeah, I'm moving you guys back.
Okay, so first of all, cheers to all of our patrons at home. You guys make this possible. Thank you so very much. So here's this pina colada in lovely Panama.
Oh, and thank you guys for being patrons too.
Yeah.
Are you still patrons?
I got the email about the live stream, but you guys didn't actually tell us.
How do you like that?
With the really
We're
bad
so
Wi-Fi,
informative.
so I hardly got the email at all.
Okay, do we want to take a seat and we will
Definitely.
do some
There's
chatting?
one more thing. Since we just hosted them, I just wanted to say, every time we hit that go live button, we think, what can we do for you guys that would say thank you? So if you have any thoughts about something that you really want to see,
rewards for patrons or just something else we can do.
We're really bad with marketing and thanking people properly, and it's just I wish.
Anyway, if you have any ideas or there's something you would like to see us do, we are totally up for suggestions. Please let us know.
Okay.
We're thankful. Okay, we're all going to squeeze in.
One more thing. Our data might die because we have like 700 megabytes of data on our data card, and you can't top up unless you use all your data. So we couldn't top up. The Wi-Fi here is horrible. So anyway, if it just abruptly ends, that's why. I'm sorry.
Well, we're gonna try really hard for that to not happen.
Yeah,
I think we have to go a little further back.
I do have a thing that says poor connection.
Oh
but
no, not poor connection.
It's
Oh, Technomania. Hey, Chris and Cherie.
Hello.
Technomania.
That's a bear hug. Okay, how's that? We got everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been getting lots of questions, of course, about connectivity and how we're staying connected and everything else, and we've mostly just been buying local SIM cards, but actually did catch a live cast from Chris and Cherie of Technomadia, but they run a website called RV Mobile Internet, and while the word RV is in there, a lot of you are RVers, you probably already well know who they are, but for the boaters who are here, they do a really great job of just covering a lot of information. They've kept me really up to date with like satellite launches and things that are going on. I asked them a lot about a couple of different options that are international phones. They do a lot of really great write-ups. They have a lot of information, so definitely check them out. Anyway, okay, so what's up?
What's up?
So far, the people are requesting hugs, a cookbook from Nikki, and just being yourselves.
I've been on to her about the cookbook thing. Sorry, I yelled. I've been on to her about the cookbook thing for like 4 years. But we...
The problem is with cooking on the go is it's not a recipe. For example, today, what did we make for lunch?
What did we call it? Last resort boat. I don't even know.
We had a very sad-looking carrot.
Celery.
Really sad celery.
Cucumber.
Tomato.
Quinoa.
And it became
And?
some turmeric.
Turmeric.
Show them your
My
fingers.
fingers are like really, really stained yellow. I don't know if you can see them, but I've washed them like 15 times with lots of soap.
Doesn't come off. Turmeric is like a
It was
forever
real turmeric.
It's for life. You're welcome.
Yeah, so it's really mishmash thing. So the few posts, like 3, that I've actually bothered to make very scrupulous. Thank you.
Scrupulous.
Notes to write down exactly what I did, make sure that it actually works, and then do it 2 or 3 times so that I know it's going to be a success for you as well. I've only done that 3 times, so I will work on it.
Perfect. Cleo's doing her witching hour. She's probably going to run behind us in a few minutes, so if you all see us go like this, that's and a big gray dart go behind us, that's Cleo.
It's a racetrack.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll open that for safety.
Who else do we have in here? I see George.
A lot of people.
Going places with the Gainies. Hello, the Gainey family.
Hey!
Hello.
Connie Woods. Of course you're here, Connie. Love you.
Funny, the first boat that hailed us in Panama when we arrived was Going Places.
Yeah.
So.
He let us know that we were trying to call everybody an
hour
hour too
early.
early. Which you will see in the next video.
Oh, I have this new idea. Let me know what you think about it. Hey! Whoa! I want to do like audio recordings, possibly, like because we're in the jungle and it sounds amazing here in the jungle. And I thought, well, what if I just go deep into the jungle and record sounds?
Like 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, just so that you can hear the audio, and maybe we'll do a little time lapse or something to go with it. But it kind of becomes like a visual and audio vibes kind of thing, like a sound soother, but more travel related to the places we are, and it could be anything based on where we are. Anyway, that's an idea we thought about for you guys. So let us know how you feel about that.
Yeah, sorry, sidetracked.
Okay, so obviously we have now crossed the Caribbean Sea. You will see the rest of that on Sunday. Jason's been working on that today, actually. So do you have any questions for us about the crossing? There were a few that came through on Patreon, tons that came through on YouTube, but I'd love to take this time to answer any questions.
I see who cut Jason's hair.
I did that yesterday.
So I want to go batteries. I lost it.
I did see a few, obviously we mentioned it briefly, the inverter issue. We really think because we ended up not reconnecting a fan, we needed to connect, but we didn't think we needed to connect. Anyway, long story, we think it was heat related. And the inverter has been working ever since. but we still don't trust it 100%. So we've been babying it. So I don't know what we're gonna do about the inverter, other than install another fan and see if that solves our problem.
We're getting a few questions about if you had to do it again, would you change your route or do it differently?
No matter. Oh, go. Yeah.
I liked our route. I didn't think anything was wrong with our route.
Well, other than the incessant beating.
Oh,
yeah.
He's gonna complain about that.
Well, hey, look. I mean, we knew we were gonna beat on the way to the Bahamas because
it wasn't the ideal time to cross.
Yeah, it wasn't the perfect time to cross, so we knew it was gonna be a beat on the way there. One thing that surprised me, which you saw in the last video, and maybe in this video, I acknowledge it, since we had to break our videos in half because they were so long. The waves are hitting us broadside, and they're big waves hitting us broadside, but yet we're surfing down like this. So we're surfing like this and getting hit broadside at the same time. So yeah, it definitely kind of knocked me out one day.
It didn't help that you had your head inside the compartment where the inverter was for multiple hours.
What's it like without high-speed internet in the middle of the ocean?
You're seeing it right now. We see poor connection written all over our cell phone. It goes, the poor connection goes away, and it comes right back.
Yeah, it's, being without internet is actually a kind of a lovely thing for us. It's forced, disconnect. So I kind of like it when we know that we're going to be without internet. We kind of pre-plan for it, try to do what we can. But honestly, I don't feel that disconnected. I mean, we were making phone calls. You got to call your mom.
Oh, the sat phone, yeah.
Yeah, and so we use the Iridium Go paired with Predict Wind, but it's the Iridium Go allows us to still make phone calls. We have email. We can send tweets, but it's really kind of weird. I don't like the platform for that portion, but
which is why she never did it, and I promised in the video, I was like, can we do a tweet today? She's like...
I would go to it, and I tried a couple of different times, and I couldn't get it to work. It was that day we were also having trouble downloading. Anyway,
I'm not yelling at you.
You're calling me out. It's okay. Throw me under the bus. But that kept us connected the whole time, so still emails and everything else were coming through, and text messages, so I don't know, I felt in constant communication, and if Kent was checking in with us every single day. We were giving him blow-by-blows, especially whenever the storm came, and he was like, good job, guys, and tips on what to do next time, and how we could have gotten the sail down faster, stuff like that. So it's really nice to get that kind of instant information, not 5 days later when you finally arrive at land.
It kind of ties into this question here. What was a lesson learned from this passage?
Who is that?
This is from Lisa Sternett.
Nice. Okay, Lisa.
Lesson learned.
I don't know. Well, newbies first, because our answers could influence yours.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if it's...
Everything was a lesson learned for us.
I think the strangest thing that I found that I really wasn't expecting was trying to figure out when to start my day. Because we were just working in 3-hour watches or shifts. So I never knew which wake up time was is this the time that I brush my teeth and change my clothes, or is it the next time? Because one wake up is midnight, one wake up's 3 a.m. So you're just... I did not know when to start my day.
When I couldn't stand the way I smelled anymore, I felt super greasy. That's when I decided it was time to go ahead and go through that routine.
Justin?
Well, just all the days kind of blended together. You couldn't really tell if it was morning or evening or night. It was really cool. But yeah, get tired from all the waves for sure.
Yeah.
I think that not knowing noon or night problem was mostly Justin.
I was useless for a bit, but he slept a lot.
He was on shift, and when he was on shift, he was on shift. Everybody keeps telling me it's watches, and yes, watches, we do that. Sorry. Yeah. When he was on his watch, he was on his watch. There was no concerns of him falling asleep. But when he was not on watch, he was asleep.
So I guess my lesson learned was don't film when we catch a fish. Run to the pole.
Yes.
Because otherwise, she's going to be right there.
Sorry. She does. She has specially attuned ears to the clicker. She can be in a dead sleep, and she will run.
Yeah.
Run.
Yet she'll sleep through a 50-knot storm.
Specially attuned ears.
Exactly.
I didn't hear the storm.
Oh. Lessons learned for me? I will say that I went into it probably a little overly confident, thinking, because our weather was so great in the beginning and we were just clipping right along, and we have not run our jack lines up until now, but once the weather did get crazy, I was really wishing they were run, and I was like, gee, we really should have run those like before this moment, and we hadn't done it. So I will totally cop up to that one and say that the guys, they were fine. They didn't feel the need to be clipped in. The vests were more than sufficient, but it was more not because they necessarily needed it. It was for my peace of mind, because that's why I yelled at Dale to come up, because I just wanted extra eyeballs on them, because I was so focused on watching the helm and keeping an eye on the sail and trying to figure those things out that I couldn't keep eyes on them as well. And I really wanted to know, like a mother hen, where all my chicks were. I needed to visually be able to see them or know that they were okay. So if somebody went overboard, I was ready to like act on it. So I think jack lines for me, I will run those every time before a passage now.
Yeah, a big passage.
Yeah.
Coastal cruising on calm water? Probably.
No, but absolutely a big passage. Yeah.
Other questions about how long did the big storm last? Any damage from it? So that kind of ties into that.
Maybe a half hour. It lasted maybe a half hour, and yeah,
It felt like a long time,
Felt
but
like
not
forever.
a long time. Yeah.
and no damage, thankfully. We're just very cautious about what we did, and you know, you can call it luck or you can call it just instinct or whatever, but we got the sail down, and it wasn't perfect, but we did it.
We were still clipping along at 16.1 knots, so we were flying when the sail was still up, but I mean, the guys were on it super fast. They had the preventer off and they had slacked it, so it was already loose, so it had no shape to it, so it was still spilling all over the place. But it just was almost 50 knots of wind, so it was a lot of wind. Even just windage, was pushing us right along. So we were clipping along with hardly any sail up. So we kind of did have the time to think about it, and that's what we were trying to do. Everybody stayed super calm. We were just going, okay, what do we do in this situation? What would be the best thing? So we kept talking through the scenarios. We felt like we had the time to do it. There was no real danger as far as that went. It was just figure it out and do it right. Don't just rush into something. So I felt like we did the right thing.
And the wave period was far enough apart that we were able to turn safely upwind, and the waves weren't like 30 feet or anything. They were only 15.
We assume.
Yeah.
We couldn't see anything. Yeah.
Yeah. But by the way the boat felt, it did feel safe to turn upwind, which can be dangerous in a catamaran.
Yeah.
But
it was
anyway.
very slow, very controlled.
Back on the thing that Nikki said about learning the jack lines, we are going to do a safety video in the near future, because we had one of our patrons buy us an EPIRB, which was super awesome.
Thank you. It's
Yeah,
amazing. You don't need every little device. It is not necessary. People prove that all the time, and people 10 years ago didn't have the same technology we have right now. So you don't have to have every single gadget, and they do. They are all expensive, so they all add up. But the peace of mind is unreal. Having that, and then having the little individual
AIS thing. So if somebody falls overboard, it pops up a thing on a big warning and an alarm on our chart plotter. And it says man overboard, and it tracks the man overboard.
Right, so you become your own individual vessel with AIS on that. So knowing that even if you fell over in a big storm, I'm going to find you. I got a tracker on you. I will get back to you. And that makes especially dark, storm, it's a lot of peace of mind.
Okay.
Justin has one shirt with long sleeves, and we bought it for mosquitoes. And I don't think we have a final count on fish tacos. A lot of people are asking what the final count on that was.
We limited out on fish.
We had to stop fishing. It was like the saddest day of sailing I've ever experienced.
yeah.
I just sat there sad all day
Dale
long.
was, I
Can
was
we put it back
I was
in? Can we put it
like,
back in?
Oh, like we really can't fish at all.
there was no more room in the freezer. There was nowhere else to put a fish. So
No room in the fridge, no room in the freezer.
Yeah,
we can't make
and so
ice
we
fast
we
enough.
cut it off. We said you rinse the poles, put them away. We're not allowed to fish until we make new room in the freezer. So we have to eat a bunch before we can put any more in there. And we couldn't even make it through the fish we had in there by the time we arrived. So yes, we were cut off from fishing.
Yep. A few people also asked about healthcare. If you guys get sick while sailing, and some people are seconding
Still
that request.
haven't sorted out the healthcare thing yet.
Everything, but not everything. There's good traveler's insurance out there, but that's for short term, not long term. I haven't found the perfect solution. I guess something that I feel really good about.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of trying to weed through and research, but local healthcare here is very affordable.
Yeah.
And they have good hospitals here. So if something happened, I would do that. There's a ton of expats and everything else here.
Yeah.
So I have no concerns about going to a hospital or a doctor and being concerned about getting good care. If I go back to the United States, I don't have health care there anymore.
Who knows what we'll get.
Yeah, and it would be horribly expensive. We couldn't afford it anyway.
It'd be more expensive than our boat.
What's one food item from the States that you're missing?
It's funny, the other day, we saw a photo of a corn dog. And I was like, hey, a veggie corn dog with Dijon mustard, that sounds really good. And jalapenos?
Yeah, you're not going to get that here.
No.
No. But I'm not really missing anything because there's so many new, like, fruits and vegetables that we've never had before. Every time we go in to, like, Go Provision, it's a whole experience. Are you worried about the cat?
Yes.
So we've eaten a lot of new fruits that are all very interesting.
No.
So it's been exciting. Cleo, oh, she's rubbing up and
Yeah.
loving on the tripod.
Oh, man. Cleo.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
I
loves
know.
all of you
I
guys,
know.
too.
She's saying hello.
Hilarious.
Cleo, look into the lens. Cleo, right here. Cleo.
Very Sharp is saying we should get a world map with pins showing where all the patrons hail from.
Oh!
And other people are agreeing.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
Yo! Cleo! Oh, man.
Ugh. Okay, that was a close one. Yeah, world map idea. I do like that. I could probably figure that out. I think I can do that. I could do that through our other map software.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have to manually enter them in, but that's if I do it by, like, country or state or province and stuff like that. I could do it. Good idea.
Sweet.
What was your main activity to pass the time at sea?
Sleeping.
Eating.
Cooking.
Catching fish?
Cleaning.
Podcasts.
Yeah. A lot of podcasts.
People are also asking what podcasts. you
Yeah.
listen to.
We'll have to do a post on the podcast. You know, we downloaded some that we thought were going to be really good, and then they ended up just being total junk. And it seems like so many podcasts are people sitting around talking about their laundry. You know, things that I want to be educated. I want to learn something. I want to be inspired, not just hear somebody talking about their laundry for an hour.
Yeah, I think each one, that was the interesting thing, is we would actually have discussions each day, like, oh, okay, well, what are you listening to? What did you learn? Each one of us was listening to something very, very different. For me, I had never really spent much time on all the sailing podcasts, so there was the Sailing Road, Sailing Loot, Slow Boat Sailing. Anyway, they're all just interviews with fellow sailors, and I thought those were all really interesting. I learned a lot of neat things about a lot of different people sailing in different parts of the world. So that was fun for me. Justin?
I loved all the history podcasts. Non-stop history podcasts.
Maybe that's why you slept so much.
That would put me to sleep.
No, they're really good.
And then you were listening to something pretty interesting too.
I had one that was stuff you should know. So they did talk about kind of laundry stuff a lot in the first few that I listened to. I wasn't into it, but then there was just so much time I kind of kept listening. And then there's a few cool ones. I learned about jellyfish.
And now we've seen 1,000
Yeah,
jellyfish.
desalination, and then we went to the salt
Lots of
mountain, so that was
Oh, yeah.
neat.
It was cool. Yeah. What
We
were you
did a lot.
listening to?
Rick Bayless has a food blog. Rick Bayless is a chef from Chicago and one of my favorite chefs. I listened to a couple of his. I listened to one about ice cream, which was super fascinating on his show. And then I listened to something else. Crap. I'm getting old. I'll remember tonight at 2 a.m.
Yeah. We should make a blog post
A blog
about
post.
a blog
Yep,
post. A
definitely
blog,
make a blog post, yep.
blog post about all the podcasts that we thought were actually good.
Yeah.
Lots of questions about cats. The cats are all here. How
Cats.
did they do during the storm?
No problem.
How did they like
They were right along with Dale.
Yeah.
Sleeping.
I think their defense mechanism is sleep. So anytime the seas get rough, they just kind of curl up and sleep. And I check on them quite often and make sure they're going poop and pee, and make sure they're eating and drinking. And
Check on them. They're happy.
Yeah. And you see them in the videos. They'll pop out for a minute and just kind of sit there and sniff the air and love on us, and be good little sailor kitties.
Yeah.
How's the water maker keeping up, and are we rationing heavily?
No. Oh, yeah, the water maker's keeping up just fine, except the water pump burnt out on it. The Jabsco water pump has nothing to do with the water maker, so I had to replace that right when we landed. But no, we haven't been rationing at all, and unfortunately, like when we go scuba diving or snorkeling,
Oh my gosh,
jeez.
so much water.
Yeah.
It just, you have to rinse everything because of the salt water. So it just, I mean, I would say we probably go through 20 gallons sometimes just for people's
Ouch.
gear and
Yeah.
rinsing all of that to get all the salt water off to make sure it lasts.
But
Yeah,
if you're thinking about the Cruise RO, it's a beast of a system, and literally they have the pump at the marina down the street or down the waterway. I don't know what you call that.
The marina store, like marina store.
The different
whatever.
marina. They had the pump, so I could have literally bought one there. It was $100 more expensive than the States, but I had a backup, so
It
it
would have
wasn't a
fixed
big
the
deal.
problem. Yeah. So
Yeah. That's the idea behind it, is you can find parts anywhere.
Cool.
Connie Woods wants to know if we're seeing any strange things like odd fish. Yes.
Yes.
Dale's the fish expert.
Yeah, we saw that. What was that? Like a weird rock-looking fish?
Mm-hmm.
It just blended right in. It looked like the rocks and the corals, and then like,
But
all
not
of
a
a sudden,
rock,
like 2 eyes were glowing back at the
Yeah.
flashlight, and then its mouth was like, rah!
but not a regular rockfish.
No.
Those we've seen, but this is
I need
like
to look it up.
big and kind of round.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of jellyfish. I think we all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't get stung, right?
No, I've gotten stung.
Yeah. Okay, we've
Yeah.
all gotten stung.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's so
It's
many
gotten stung.
In her
jellyfish.
face.
Lots of jellyfish. Different types of jellyfish. We all saw, Jason and Dale saw a little tiny fish trapped inside
Inside
of a jellyfish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's this one starfish. It looks like a starfish thing, but it's long and it wraps like pink and blue, and it wraps itself around coral, and it looks like just
Oh, they're
it's
everywhere.
So neat. Oh, and then the monofilament thing.
Oh, it looks like,
Oh.
I thought, this is just the saddest thing ever. Did you guys see all that
Monofilament
monofilament down
everywhere.
there? Just wrapped around everything. Dale's like, no, I thought it was too, but it's actually alive. It's
Yeah.
a creature.
Like my hand went near it, and like it all just like sucked into the bottom. It was really eerie.
Like 20 feet worth of monofilament.
Yeah,
A lot.
it looked like trash monofilament, like fishing line that had gotten wrapped around some coral. I really
Yeah.
thought that's what it was from a distance. I thought, well, that's sad. It's alive.
Sad until it touches you.
Everything's
Yeah.
What else do we have here? What's the plan to repair or replace the inverter? From John Morris.
Okay, we are on the phone with GoPower, and they're supposed to send us a new one. We also need to install the fan. I think the inverter's actually fine. It's just too hot. So we're installing an external fan, but I think heat's always going to be an issue when the water's 85 degrees and it's 92 degrees outside and the inverter kicks on. So I don't know. They're going to have to come up with a solution for us, or we're going to have to look into something different.
Yeah. I don't know. It is weird though, because I mean we've done Burning Man and we've been in
Yeah.
like the middle of the desert in the summer
Arizona, yeah.
in the RV, and that was hot. It was 100 degrees. So I don't know. I struggle with the fact that we had the same inverter and it worked flawlessly for us for years. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Does the cat lean to any large degree with strong beam winds? Very
cat?
Sharp would like to know.
Oh,
I'm assuming the cat.
catamaran.
Yeah.
Not Leo.
Bota. Yeah. Bota.
A little bit. You know, let's say, you know, this is flat. A cat might lean like that, and a mono's gonna lean like that.
Right.
But-
maybe a 5 degree.
Yeah. Your glass, if you have a glass on a fiberglass table, it will not slide on its own, but if you're hitting bumps and at a slight angle, it will start to slide.
But for the most part, even through some kind
Yeah.
of crazy stuff, we can still keep a glass on the table, which is always impressive. Because you'll come in and you'll think, I cannot believe all that is still sitting on the table. Nothing went off.
Even in the storm.
Even in the storm.
What do we have? How are boat projects going?
Never
From
ending.
Bradley.
Boat project.
Never ending. I need to change the oil. I've had it on the list for 2 weeks now.
Keeps getting bumped like every 2 days.
Oh man, the
Yeah.
last 2 videos were the last two, this video and the last one and the one before that, the last 3 videos were a beast to edit because there was just so much footage and so much to share. And you know, I didn't want to cut it too short because I wanted people to feel like they were on board with us, you know, with some of that downwind sailing especially. And I don't know.
And I got
taking up full
gritched
time.
up for leaving the helm cam on way too long, so then he had like 30-minute
my
clips that he would have
gosh.
to watch. So that's a half an hour right there.
Oh yeah.
Every time I would leave it on accidentally, but he's thinking maybe she did this for a reason. Maybe I need to watch the whole thing. Anyway.
I'm seeing new questions pop up there, but not on here.
Oh no. Do we need to refresh maybe?
And it's only 2 minutes behind on here.
It's 2 minutes behind. That's
Oh,
an
okay.
eternity in YouTube time.
Did you see the eclipse? People are asking about the
No,
eclipse.
not down here.
No, it didn't look like much of anything. Everybody was outside trying to take a peek at it, but we're just not. We were too far out of the zone. But I saw everybody's pictures on like Facebook and Instagram, and it looked amazing.
Our friend Jeanette, man, she took a photo with her little snappy camera or phone or something. I'm like, that's amazing.
Lots of good ones.
Speaking of cameras, what do you think about this lens? This
Oh,
is it's a little attachment for our iPhone, and it totally like makes everything wider, so you can capture a lot more with the selfie. So if it looks okay on your screen, let us know. We actually shot part of our video in Bocas del Toro with it just for fun. But now we have to look here for.
Oh.
Are you staying in the Caribbean? The last question that came up. Are you staying in the Caribbean? We are thinking we'll be here in Panama for a couple more months. Then we'll cruise through the canal. Then we'll go to the west coast of Panama and up possibly to Costa Rica.
Yeah. We have time. You don't want to start heading towards the Galapagos or anything too early. So we've got
Spring.
plenty of time, to really explore the area, and that's what we want to do. There's so much coffee and chocolate and jungle and everything else here. There's just so much to do.
Yeah, our connection's really poor, so hopefully you can hear us.
Yeah.
The questions are flying in too fast. We can't see them, and they're not updating here because
Yeah, we lost our internet.
yeah.
But okay, let's see here. Hello from Whitby, Canada. Hello.
I went to Whitby on reading week in first
Whitby.
year university.
I'm out.
I don't have questions on here.
Check it. Audio is great. Good to hear, man, because that was our problem last time.
Bummer.
Feed is running good. Well, that's good to know. This is like the little local. It's called Moss Mobile, is the cell phone company here. Well, one of them, the one we have a SIM card for right now. It's about 2 gigs for $15 is kind of the going rate.
Super expensive. 2 gigs.
It's not that. I mean, it's doable.
To upload a video costs $20. There you go. Put that into perspective.
What was the
Yeah,
movie star
but
one? 150
Most people
bucks?
pay $100 for home internet, so you know. All right, let's see.
I can't get the long questions because it's too fast, but someone just asked if you're going to the Sandblast Islands.
Oh yes, absolutely. We've been told not to head there too soon. That it's a little early in the season. They still get a lot of storms blowing through there, and we've heard some stories about how the wind whips off of the mountain there, and you can get like just 70-knot winds out of absolutely nowhere. So,
And lightning too, apparently, this
lots
time of
of
year.
lightning.
Lots of lightning strikes.
and of course, you know what happens. You buy new electronics, you will get struck by lightning. So we are avoiding the lightning.
Last night we went up to the top of the mountain on the top of the hill here. It's not really a mountain, and did a night time lapse, and it was these guys' first night time lapse.
First nighttime lapse.
We were up till
I don't know.
early.
It was like 1:30 a.m. when I checked the
2
time
a.m.
when we got back.
Yeah, 1:30 a.m. with shooting time lapse, and of course, like the time lapse starts, this beautiful Milky Way. Oh, it's so clear, and then 30 minutes later, sucked in.
All the clouds rolled in for the storms. It has been raining nonstop today, but it's still lovely.
Oh, it's lovely.
But
Oh, yeah.
we lost our stars, but we got a little bit of it, so
Yeah.
that's good.
And the no-see-ums here, there was none the first week,
Yeah.
2
Oh.
weeks.
Yeah.
None at all, and then all of a sudden they came out
were
and
like,
we thought,
yes.
oh, we thought, this is paradise, there's no no-see-ums. There's beach over there, and there's no wind over here, and
No bugs. This is gonna be fantastic. There are bugs here.
it's
Lots
be
and lots of
prepared.
bugs.
I saw a question go by: what boat add-on has been your favorite, or has
Oh.
been best.
Ooh.
Something along those lines.
Okay, well, probably speaking of all the upgrades that we just did, it's hard because the navigation. I would say navigation. Plus, I like our new watches. We got the new Garmin Quantix watches. They're marine watches. They actually tie in with our autopilot, so we can see anywhere on the boat. I can see what the boat speed is, what our heading is, and then I can actually control the autopilot, which is
The stereo.
the stereo. Fun when somebody else is on watch, though. If you want to see if you're paying attention, you click over a few degrees and see if they've noticed. Anyway, but so those are really great because you can see all of the information. So even if I'm off watch and I'm just curious, I can just see what's going on. Ton of other like functionality. So I guess just overall like the navigation aspect.
Technology behind the navigation, the integrating with the iPad and the watch and all that.
Yeah, has been really. I mean, 'cause our other stuff is super old, so having all these like new toys, I'm just like so much function.
And Wi-Fi's not back.
Do your watches lose connectivity at times?
Do our watches lose connectivity? If it's trying to tie into the actual autopilot, like if I'm wanting to control the autopilot, yes, depending on how far away I get from the helm station, it drops. But for just the boat information, if I just want to know our heading and boat speed, wind speed, and everything else, that stays connected kind of anywhere on the boat. I didn't have any trouble with that one. It was just if I was wanting to control. But I have not tried it from the iPad yet because it didn't download the apps that he needed for it before we left. So that is on my to-do list. But otherwise, it works really well.
Someone asked how the marina was.
Oh, the first one was on its own little private island, the one we came to check into, because it's like right across from town and the merchant marine office. It was on a tiny island, and we thought that'd be great, but then we got there and we're like, oh, you literally can't walk around.
Can't go anywhere. You're on an island, so that was it.
A tiny island.
Was, yeah,
You could literally
frustrating.
go to the office, which was like
Or the
a lady
cantina.
sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
It was so small.
Yeah,
and then
and
that was it.
The weird thing about Bocas del Toro is they don't really have anywhere for you to land your dinghy, and they really don't want you landing your dinghy anywhere. They want you to take the water taxis because they want to make their money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, which is fine, and if you're at the marinas, they have water taxis that run every day, so that's helpful, but it's a little frustrating when you're anchored out, but we're working on figuring that situation out.
Yeah. But the marina now, we're at Red Frog, which is like the famous Red Frog Beach, is on the other side, and we just walk this trail through the jungle, and we're now on this pristine beach that's, it's not to ourselves, but it is at times. We're like the only people there.
It's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
it's really nice.
We've been bashing open coconuts on the rocks and everything else, like
Climbing the
feeling
tree.
very castaway-ish. Yeah.
And there's monkeys and sloths
Yes.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Except for when we try to get the camera out.
Every time
They can see
you go
the
for a
camera.
camera.
They hide.
Oh man, we had a sloth this high like, with us. He was literally right here on a tree. We could have reached out and touched him. It was pretty cool.
Not one of us even had a
No
cell phone in our
camera.
pocket.
Nope.
Oh, video's freezing for some people.
We
Oh
might,
no.
we might be losing our data. Might be at the end of its life.
Very well could be. We've been going for 38 minutes. Hey, that's pretty
Yeah.
good for
That's
our
more than we
amount of data.
expected.
Oh, it seems to be.
Oh, I
done.
saw something come across about language. We are working on our Spanglish. It is very sad. But we are listening to some audio CDs to brush up on our Spanish, so we will do better. Oh, video and audio is
we're
back on
doing
track.
good.
No problem. Okay, well, good.
Remember that question about not having data?
Yeah. I could scroll through and see
I
the
know.
I did
I
see your
know.
question earlier about water temperature. If it was a lot different at the top than the bottom, and yes,
Big time.
drastically
like
different.
a lot different.
I think on the computer it said 91 at surface, 84 at the bottom.
It's almost a 10-degree difference.
Yeah,
Yeah, so from, what was it? What was our depth the other day?
40 feet.
40 feet. So we were, there you go, surface and 40 feet down.
How did everybody like the following along on the Iridium little map thing? Was that pretty cool? I felt like I felt like I was connected to everyone because that little device is on and we're tracking and I'm thinking, oh, people are watching.
We could see it.
Yeah.
We knew other people could see it, and that was kind of fun. But then it became like every time we would hit like a really good speed, I'm like, oh, you probably did log that moment.
Oh, and don't freak out because we're taking the little Iridium, or not Iridium, it's the InReach, the Garmin InReach. That's what it is. We're taking it up the mountain. So when you see Curiosity at 15,000 feet, it's the Curiosity crew, not the boat.
We're going to hike. Did you tell them about the hike we're going to do?
No, the coffee is all that I...
Hiking a volcano.
Yeah. We're gonna hike a volcano. Yeah, but there's coffee. Geisha coffee.
Yeah, a volcano, an extinct volcano. We're going to try to get up there for sunrise, which means we hike all night long to get there for sunrise. And if we're super lucky and it's really clear, it's the highest point in Panama, and you can see the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Ocean all in the same view.
But it's rainy season.
Yeah, so we're probably going to get
we've
socked
only
in.
seen the mountain like 3 times from down here, so I'm assuming
we're going in
chances
good
are-
faith. We're
Exactly,
going in
yeah.
good faith. It's
Yeah,
going to be an
I don't want to
adventure.
promise
It's gonna work
anything.
out.
but
I know.
Okay. And we're taking the drone with us.
How can I send you guys stuff? I don't know. Depends on what you want to send, and if you really want to send it all the way to Panama.
Just fly down and bring it. That's the easiest way.
There you go. Are you kidding? Oh, I can see that one. Garmin tracking worked awesome.
I saw someone asked when do we get Nikki's ukulele performance.
Next video starts with Nikki's ukulele performance.
Yeah, me practicing, just learning my chords.
Yeah.
So that ought to give you an indication of how long it will be before I play an actual tune. Does not come natural to me, but I am determined it will happen. My Twinkle Twinkle is getting better.
She's almost rock solid on Twinkle Twinkle. The 3 Blind Mice is next. Well, our internet's not working here, so we can't really get the questions, but I think our data's about to end any minute, but
Yeah.
I think, and my cocktail's gone.
Well, we can see who the lushes are.
Yeah. But thanks for being a part of everything, guys. We truly do appreciate it, and it means so much whenever we hit that go live button to know that we have a whole crew of people there with us hitting that button, letting us hit that button, allowing us to hit that button.
Thank you guys. Technomania.
Now the video's just
I
going to
know,
end with you
I'm
looking like
just
this.
looking at all the comments. Okay, I'll read them afterwards and respond to some if I can. Anyway, thank you very much. Any final thoughts about the crossing?
It was awesome.
It was great.
Yeah?
Yeah, we learned tons. It was an adventure for sure.
When you went from not sailing at all to crossing an ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was epic.
1,800 nautical miles or something.
Something like that.
Pretty good.
No big deal.
Yeah.
The end is kind of sad of the video.
Why?
Why? The weather gets really calm. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It is
It's
beautiful.
good
It's really
stuff.
nice.
Yeah.
We see sleeping dolphins in the next one.
Not whales.
Not
Not
whales
whales.
and not logs, but they do.
But we
look
do
like,
see logs too.
We do see logs,
Look,
but they
everyone
look like
whales.
logs. So we're very excited for you guys to see that part. That was really neat, and I've heard not everybody always sees that, the sleeping dolphins. I had no idea. We had to look it up once we got here because nobody could figure out what they were doing. Anyway, love you guys.
yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Can you reach the...
I can. See you. Oh, the lens over here. Bye. Oh, don't knock over there. No, that button. Are you sure you want to stop? Yeah.